Welcome to the Lone Star State Q's podcast. I am Marcus McCoy, the Lone Star State Q's Director of Public Relations.
And I'm Brother Jeremy Neal, Lone Star State Q's PR Vice Chair. We have guest Lone Star State Q's President Antonio Brown with us today. Welcome, Brother Brown.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon to you guys. Speaking with you all about the business of Omega on the Texas side, Lone Star State Q's.
All right. Thank you, brother. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, good brothers, my tag is Brother Antonio Brown 3, Upsilon Omega Spring 02. That is the A brothers. Currently Rho Beta, and I can tell you from a family standpoint, I like to think that I'm a great husband, good father, a good brother, and I'll say this, I try to be a friend. I show myself friendly, good brothers. I try to do the work that's needed to be done, and I try to live that way, good brothers. One day at a time, focused on the task at hand. And that's just who I am, bro.
Good. Definitely glad to have you, Brother President. So, kind of turn the page. What inspires you to actually want to pursue the role of Lone Star State Q's president?
Man, I think that's an excellent question, bros. I don't think everybody is built for leadership because it takes a lot of work and dedication to fulfill these particular jobs, brothers. And we already know what type of men we're dealing with. And it's a volunteer ordeal. I think one of the biggest things for me is, did I have the time to put into it and give it what it deserves? And I think with those things being said, how can I add value to this position? How can I add value to the state? And I don't think everybody wants to do this job because it's a tough one, good bros. It's a very tough one because we have to always have some ingenuity when we come into this and try to make this job better than what we found it. And that was always for me is the challenge of being able to make it better than what I found it, good bros. I don't want ever give anybody the opportunity to come in and have to redo everything. Now, of course, you want to do things your way. But you shouldn't have to build the foundation up again. I want to be able to stack bricks on top of that solid foundation, and I want to give it to the next man so they can build another floor. So my ability to have vision, that was the thing that drove me to want to be the president of Lone Star State Q's, amongst other positions that I do within the district as well. How can I be an asset? That's always my question first. How can I be an asset?
I agree with you. You can't build unless you have a solid foundation. I love that, brother. That statement it holds true no matter what role you hold in Omega. If you can't have that solid foundation, you can't continue to build and climb and continue to do other things. So let's do a recap of some of the events that have taken place. We will start with the inaugural LSSQ Leadership Conference. Tell us about that event.
Man, that was one of the events that I was super excited about, good brothers, because, of course, we are a Texas-based organization. We're trying to make our chapters here in the state of Lone Star State Q strong. And one of the things that we tried to do was make sure that we implemented opportunities for brothers to understand what was our organization all about. We have a lot of new brothers that has been made over the years, and they never took fully advantage of the Lone Star State Q's. So when doing that leadership conference, I wanted to let them know everything that we were capable of doing as one unit. So we talked about the caucusing and what it truly meant and how it should flow from the chapter up when you're choosing your candidate. We tried to make sure we were time bound on the candidates that we reviewed and make them understand that when you make those choices, just because you made that choice at home, as you move up, if you have a coalition in your city, now you're trying to bring that candidate up through that ranks. And sometimes your man is not going to be the guy that does what you would like them to do, but you have to understand it's all for the greater good for the state, right? So if the state is backing this one guy and we've gotten to the state level and everybody agrees this is our candidate, now we know how to move as a state because that's what we were created for, and I think the leadership conference gave us that ability to understand what it is that our organization is all about. So that was one of the great things that I like to talk that we talked about when it came to the leadership conference. Then we talked about several other things as well. One of the biggest things, of course, Omega Day at the Capitol. We want to continue to get better on that. And although, from a political standpoint, we're not a political organization, but we are an organization that informs us about the great things that's going on within our neighborhoods. And that way we try to have some key igniters to talk about just for general concerns, not just in Harris County or the Dallas County, but that's something that's going to be going on in Texas, period, that we should be aware of. Whether you're for or against, at least you were informed. And those are the things that, we try to make sure during this leadership conference that we all are locked in and we're all looking at what it is that we can do to try to push not just our agenda, but make our communities just a little bit better by being informed and getting involved in the local politics that we should do at any given time, not just during the 4-year elections, but, local elections, board elections, educational board elections. You want to get involved as much as we can, and we want to provide the information. We're not trying to go tell you who to vote for or who not to vote for, but we want to make sure that you damn sure are informed about what it is that you're dealing with out here. So that's what the leadership conference was truly about, making sure that we understood what we were personally as a state organization, when it comes to choosing our candidates and backing our people that's out of the Texas region, but more importantly is focusing on our communities as well and knowing what things that ail our communities or build up our communities. So
great.
We just wanted to make sure they had that.
Great point. So I actually had the privilege of taking part in that leadership conference as well. And I think one of the things that was great about it, and you already kind of touched on it, was the sense of empowerment, right? We are the state of Texas. And, I know many people heard me say about our voices, mattering. And I think that leadership conference was a great way to empower the brothers across the state of Texas. And, also we talked about some opportunities for some collaboration with some other organizations and things of that nature. So just, add to that, I think, it was definitely a great leadership conference. Now, moving right along. Now, we also had the Lone Star State Q's annual state meeting, which obviously we know is, it's a big deal for us, right? It happens every year.
That's right.
It took place in San Antonio, Texas in February. It was hosted by the brothers of Psi Alpha in San Antonio, Texas. We actually have a brother from Psi Alpha right now on the call, Brother Jeremy Niels, a Psi Alpha brother.
Excellent.
We definitely want to give those brothers a great shout out. They were a great host. The business was world class. The fellowship was even better. And so we definitely want to give our thanks and kudos to those brothers in Psi Alpha for being outstanding hosts. But on that same note, give us some highlights from that event as well.
Well, I'll definitely say this. You're absolutely right, man. Kudos to the brothers of Psi Alpha. Did an immaculate job from beginning to end. Good brothers. They understood the assignment. Good brothers. You can tell they were constant professionals. Made sure that they followed their project leads and things in their project management software. They was on it at every cost, and it was very important to stay on top of it to make their job easier. And they made our job a lot easier. So we learned a lot during those times of the Lone Star State Q's planning, things that are going to immensely help the next group that comes in, which will be, of course, in Dallas with Alpha Iota. I actually just had breakfast with the boss list here recently as well, just this morning. So we're looking forward to that particular event. But this last, and the great thing about this last, of course, Lone Star State Q state meeting, was the EC's first one together. And I think we did a tremendous job, good brothers. The growth that we had in attendance, and then also the things that we were able to implement while we were taking on this tremendous event. We had over 400 brothers registered. You had even more brothers actually there attending. And it was just a great feeling, good brothers. You know, of course, like any other spirited state meeting, you know, you're going to have some things that we need to correct. Also, we're going to need to inform brothers that, hey, you know, some things will be tolerated, some things will not. You know, our standing rules will be our standing rules. And, you know, and those are things that you learn along the way sometimes, and you don't make those mistakes twice. But one of the great things that we had during this 2-day weekend, of course, that Friday evening, and I'm looking to grow this at every cost, is making sure that our undergrads participate in this particular portion of the Lone Star State Q's meeting. And that was the mentoring program that we had for our undergrads. We had 12 out of 17 chapters attend that mentoring program and attend the particular weekend. I mean, it was an absolutely great showing by our undergrads. And that Friday evening, one of the things that we did was bring in professionals that were in the organization of Omega Psi Phi, whether it was STEM or whatever, of course, career ladder that they had available. We made sure we had professionals in every one of those undergraduates field. And they had an opportunity to have mock interviews about their field. We wanted to make sure that they had quite a few things that were available to them, the scoring, their posture, their knowledge of the job itself, their readiness, their preparedness. And we want to give them opportunities to walk away with something in their hand to let them know how to prepare to be ready for the next level. And they truly understood the assignment. They truly were grateful for having an opportunity to talk to people that were directly in their field. And I believe a few of them actually walked away with some internships. And those are the things that we're looking to grow for our undergrads, because this is their meeting as well. You know, it's not just about our local graduate chapter's business, but we want to make sure that they have all the opportunities available to them. And we want to make sure that our graduate brothers are actually pouring into them as they come to these particular meetings, but also during the leadership conferences that they're reaching out to them and see where they are. Are they ready for their internship? Have they had opportunities to talk to companies? You know, and making sure that we reach out to companies and let them know that we got some talented guys here that can handle these type of jobs. And they just need an opportunity to show their skill set. You know, we already know we're about scholarship. So, you know, we know we can handle that part. We know we're about our manhood. So there's no reason why we shouldn't persevere through this and show that uplift for our particular young men. So as far as the state meeting, just great meeting all around, good brothers. We're always looking forward to endorse our Texas candidate first. You know, of course, if they are up to par, and those are the things that we talked about. If our Texas candidates are not ready, we have to let them know. We have to have honest conversations. You know, and I love to say that, hey, we chose some great candidates to endorse for the 88th 9th District meeting. And our own brother, Marcus McCoy, we're looking forward to him being our 9th District Director of Public Relations. And those are the things that we want to make sure that we're sticking together and that we do exactly what we say we're going to do. Of course, the DKRS, we're endorsing Ted Johnson. And we didn't have any candidates ran out of the Texas area for the 9th District Keeper of Records and Seal. And I thought that was a good thing. That showed some maturity on our part that, hey, we didn't run someone just because we could. You know, we want to make sure that we got good brothers that are ready to lead our particular district. And that's what's important to us, that we're not just showing how strong we are as a state, that we are picking good leadership to carry on that particular torch to be great men within our district. because at the end of the day, we have strong chapters. Strong chapters promote strong states, and strong state promotes strong district. And of course, there's nothing bigger than the fraternity itself. So if we got a strong district, that means we got a strong fraternity. So those are the things that we try to promote at our state meeting, man. We definitely are one. We're always focused on the task at hand. And to be quite honest, don't take this personal. We're taking care of the business of Omega when we get to these meetings. The fellowship, the friendship is always going to be there, brothers. And we're going to always have to reach out to each other and make sure that we extend that right hand, the comradeship, and make sure that that's always in play. But when we get here, we're about the business of Omega at the end of the day.
Love it. You within your highlight answer, you talked about some of your vision. So what is your vision for the organization over the next 2 years?
Man, of course, to continue to grow the attendance of the Lone Star State Cubes. Of course, by having a family day, that gives us an opportunity to come together more than just once a particular year. And so brothers have an opportunity to really fellowship and know each other. When you have that opportunity to know each other, you can hold each other accountable for greatness, not being accountable for something that you've done wrong. I want to hold you accountable for being great at what it is that you set out to do. So I want to make sure that we continue to grow our mentoring program for our undergraduates. At some point, I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to invest in our graduate brothers that are looking to do entrepreneurship. Of course, we want to make sure that we increase our voter registration, our Omega Day at the Capitol. We want to make sure that we reach a number to whereas we're not just going on Omega Day at the Capitol. Sessions are a lot longer than just one day. And we want to have opportunities to whereas we can send chapters at a time, 2, 3 chapters, 4 chapters at a time, to whereas they're starting to see us on a consistent basis. And that's how you change policies, bro. If they know the song and the dance and they know the act, they just give you a proclamation while you're there, pat you on the back, see you next year. No, we want to make sure that we're confronting our leadership and letting them know that, hey, man, we're here for the long run and the long game as well. So those are the good things that I'm looking to push to make sure that we grow our organization, make sure that we are more involved in our community through the organization, but more than anything, promoting the bloodline of our organization, our youth. It's way too important for us to stay focused on making sure that they have great mentors, that they have great leadership, that they have people that believe in them and that's going to help them pull them across that goal line, good bros. Everybody didn't get that opportunity, but we got to make darn sure that they don't lose an opportunity because we didn't do our due diligence. So
absolutely.
Growth, my brothers.
Absolutely. So obviously one of the revolving things I think we're gonna all agree on is we've been talking a lot about leadership, which is obviously meant like of great importance, when it comes to mentoring and just leading an organization in general. So for a person in your position, like what do you think are the qualities that are essential to have in your role?
Wow, patience, bro. Because we're dealing with the bros. Hey, let's not shortchange this, good brothers. You got to have some patience because you have to have a love for what it is that you're doing. My love for Omega gives me an opportunity to try to give my best. And my ability, I tell brothers all the time, your 100% is maybe my 15 to 20. I don't know how to stop. As you know, I carry many hats, and I found this year, that every now and then you're going to have to step back and reposition yourself and try to get back where you need to be, because I've had a lot of challenging things going on this year. But at the end of the day, we have to see it through, right, bros? We're built for this, but that doesn't mean you don't take a step back and reevaluate. Am I able to move forward and be able to give the district or the state what it is that they need to be great? And you have to recognize that within yourself as a leader to be able to move forward and teach other people to understand that sometimes you have to be the one to check yourself. Is this something that I can add to this district? Is it something that I can add to the state? There are so many great brothers out here with talent out here. And what I say is you got to have an aptitude to want to do more and not look for anything in return. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be very honest. I did not look to be a leader within this state, but I saw an opportunity for that I can add value. And that's what made me look towards this particular position is I can bring this particular state together to whereas we can understand that how much powerful we can be if we was on one accord. It has to be bigger than you if you want to be in this particular position. Because I guarantee you in 5 to 10 years, they're going to be like, who was the president when? They don't, if you looking to be that guy that got a statue at the end of the, in the front of the district, nah, bruh, this ain't the position for you. Don't worry about it. They're going to be like, yeah, that old man used to be the president too, Yeah. But my thing is, does the policy last? Does the opportunity that we had to learn about the positions that we're in, did it have a solid foundation to build on? Those are the things that was very, very important to me, bro. That's why most of the time when I sign something off, it's just AB. I'm not about titles, bro. It's just AB, Antonio Brown, because you're going to remember him way longer. You're going to remember I was president or DKRS. So it's about what you're trying to give to the organization without reward. If you ain't there for that, if it's a stepping stone for you, it's not for you. I wouldn't recommend it, because the bros are the bros. They unforgiving. They the moment you tell them no, they're gonna remember that. You know what I mean? They don't remember it, but sometimes you gotta say no. I don't know what to tell you, bro. And now you ain't got their vote. Man, all those times I've been good. So you cannot take this job and not do it effectively without, stepping on some toes sometimes, bro. So you got to have that ability as well to be able to tell bros honestly, no, I can't do it, or I won't do it, and sometimes they'll tell you that you're being unbrotherly, but, our job is to do what's right for our fraternity, our state, our chapters, whatever the case may be. Just humanity all in itself is to try to be the best person that you could possibly be, and sometimes that's not going to agree with everyone. So they got to have a love for Omega.
Agreed. Two things that I took from that were get ready for constructive criticism because everybody's going to be a critic. And that's then right. 2, don't do this if you're just trying to be in the Lone Star State Q's Hall of Fame. Because we already know where we're going with that one. You kind of gave a great breakdown on that. Don't do it for accolades. Do it because you want to actually serve Omega. That's right. But can you tell us how can someone get more involved with the Lone Star State Qs?
Man, absolutely a great question, good brothers. And the one thing I can say to brothers, you're already a member of the Lone Star State Qs if you live in the state of Texas and you're in a chapter in Texas. I ask that brothers that our leadership let them know that, hey, take ownership in your state. You have the opportunity to join the many committees that we do have. We have scholarship committees. We have, of course, the Omega Day at the Capitol. We have the Hall of Fame. You have so many different things that we have that's available to you that we're looking for great people to be involved. So first thing first, if you don't know which ones are actually available, go on to our website, which is the lssqs.com, and you go on it. I guarantee you'll have the contact information that's available to you so you can get on those particular committees. But you are already a part of it, good brothers. Make sure that you're involved. Go to the state meetings as you get information about the leadership conference. Tune into it. Most of those are on the Zoom. So we'll make sure that that's available to you, and we'll get it out to every single member in the state of Texas. So we're sending out 3,000 to 3,500 individual emails for us to understand what it is that we're doing on a regular basis. So when you see the Omega Day at the Capitol, you have an opportunity to go down there and show the government that these guys in purple is not playing around, you know. And then when it's time to go to the state meeting, you registering on time to get down there and understand the business of Omega. Yes, you're going to have an opportunity to fellowship. We have a great time no matter where we go. We're going to have a great time, you know, but participate in any way that you can. So even if your chapter is not the host, you can always go in and help with registration. You know, if you want to participate in the mentoring program, hey, let us know what it is that the career set that you're in and how you can help. You can help with interviews. You can help with setting up internships, things of that sort. So there's many opportunities. And I say this, think about the things that you're great at. It doesn't have to be great at all things. And how can you add value to our organization with that one thing that you do great? You know, bring that to the table. And then we're going to give you ownership, man. I'm an old baseball and football coach. I'd be like, man, take them linemen down there and, you know, go ahead and, you know, make sure they got that 3-point stand together. Make sure they kicking back. Make sure they pulling properly. You know, I got somewhere for everybody to learn and coach. I can guarantee you that. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. We're going to get you in here in this line.
Okay, coach. Hey,
Put me in.
put me in, coach.
Hey, man, I'm going to put you in, bro. I'm telling you, we're going to get these boys right.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. So let's talk about some future events or initiatives that we should be excited about. But particularly, if you could start off with the family Lone Star State Q's Family Day at the park.
Man, excited about it. Of course, it's going to be in San Antonio again this year. It's going to be April 26th. Of course, at 2600 Rigsby Avenue in San Antonio. Going to make sure that everybody's down there. We want to have representation from all the chapters. It's always been a great event. It's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years. Started off in Houston, and it moves around the state, man. So if you're interested in being a host in the next couple of years, think about it. You know, it's going to be an opportunity for you to bring all the chapters in the state to your home, and you give them an opportunity to showcase the things that you love to do. So it's very important that we understand that we are here for one another, and it gives us an opportunity to be with each other and fellowship and also talk about the things that's going to be coming up. You know, but that's just a great time, man. Hopefully they'll be bringing the barbecue competition back. I know that Roe Beta Beta has been winning it for the last 3 years. So, you know, I'm sure somebody would like a shot at that title.
You had to make sure you threw that in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hey, man, maybe you get some West Texas bros or brethren to come out there and compete.
Yeah, I tell you what, bro. Just make sure that y'all bring your grill, man. You can't be borrowing nobody else's grill.
That's facts. Why would you want to cook somebody else's grill? That's facts.
Hey, look,
y'all so far away, bro.
Look, let me say this: if you borrow somebody else's grill, you are not a real griller. I know that's off topic, but if you borrow somebody else's grill, yeah, man, that ain't your forte. That's not your genre.
Yeah, that's not your genre, bro. You know, I like to say I'm good. It don't matter what grill, but you know, I prefer mine. You know,
Yeah.
so but I'm truly looking forward to hanging out with the brothers at South Alpha, but also watching all the other brothers come through and fellowship. So we know it's going to be a little tough. Of course, we're coming right after the district meeting in New Orleans, but man, it's going to be a great showing. I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting up bright and early and bushy tail that morning and I'll be staying through the night and hanging out that evening as well. So just always great to see you, bros.
All right, brother president, I'm gonna give you a two-part question here.
Right.
What else would you like to see from the LSSQ PR committee? And what are your final thoughts for our listeners?
All right. Some of the things I would definitely like to see is just to highlight the great things that we're doing within. Of course, make sure that you're capturing some of the individual chapters, events, service events that they're doing. We want to continue to create a positive impact on our communities within the state of Texas. And we just got to make sure that we're reaching out to the individuals in the chapters so we can capture the greatness that they're taking part in. So those things are important to me. And I think the last thing I definitely want to leave for brothers, enjoy life, brothers. Life is precious. Make time for your family. Make sure that, you got your priorities in line, God first, family, fraternity. And so keep those things in mind, and I think you'll be fine, bros. But long live Omega and the Lone Star State Qs.
Absolutely. So, hey, brother president, well, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the first episode of the Lone Star State Qs podcast. We are claiming it is the first of many. And we just want to thank you all, for your time. This has been the Lone Star State Qs podcast. Thank you for watching.
Excellent. Thank you, good brothers. Thank you. Yeah, have a wonderful day.